All right, this is a coffee table build. So this is slab build number 2. I've gotten the desk done. That was the easiest of the 3. Now we're onto the coffee table. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because instead of just sanding and polying a wood surface, putting it on an existing steel base, I'm going to make my own steel base. And then I also want to epoxy this one to some degree. And it needs to be flattened a little bit. And I don't want to use the slab jig. I'm going to try to force it flat. A couple of complications with this thing, but we're going to go through that all right now. Okay, here's the plan as of right now. This is way too thin to be able to hold this, unfortunately. Now, this was meant for another project, but I'm gonna steal it for this slab. I wanna be able to keep the slab this thickness, so I'm gonna use this big beefaroni here and then recess these somewhat into the bottom of this to hold this thing dead flat, and it will do the job all day long. I'm gonna have to cut them because they're obviously way too close to the edge. You're gonna be able to see it, but I know this is what I wanna use. Imagine it black also, by the way.
Man, the more I use routers, the more I realize how much I need a dust extraction system. Makes a disaster. Anyway, one of the other things I need to do to prep for the future epoxying of this table is to make sure I have the space climate controlled. So that's where this bad boy comes in. I've been holding on to this for at least 4 or 5 years now, something like that. So this should be able, we're in late fall right now when I'm doing this work, so this should be able to keep the temperature right around where I want it. I believe epoxying you need it to have ideally somewhere between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, the heater is up. Almost ready to go. Had to order some Amazonian parts. Once those come in, the heater will be 100%. Let's start finishing this slab, getting it ready for epoxy.
I'll be honest here, I started with the chisels because that's what I see all the YouTubers do when they're digging out punky wood, but that did not last long. I went to the grinder after about 30 seconds of those chisels. The grinder with the wire disc works like magic. To clean up the edge of my slab, I went with a flat disc. I think that's 60 grit, but it's not really 60 grit. It's been glazed over and used and abused, so it's fairly smooth. But I noticed as I was going along, this area, I could not find solid wood. Every time I dug a little bit more, I would get more and more and more punky. So it was kind of unfortunate. I had to make a decision on how the heck I was gonna make this thing look pretty.
I got an idea. So there is meat right here. Right here at the edge of the white line, there's meat. I hit meat again. Now, do I want to grind that entire white line? No. Oh my God, that would suck so bad. But I could circular saw my way close to the finish line. And then the last, quarter inch or eighth inch, take that down with the grinder. I think that would give me a more natural looking edge. That's what I'm gonna go for.
Crank the tunes now, shake those shoes. Neighbors join in, feeling bright. Celebrate the gift we choose. Together we'll make.
This came out really great. I actually forget all the time that I had even cut this thing and it wasn't a natural edge. It looks perfectly natural.
Okay, so I've got this thing basically ready for epoxy now. I just noticed there's one spot that I kind of want to work on a little bit more, but semantics. Basically, we're ready.
You'll have to forgive me here because this one little piece of footage of me starting to weld them is all I can find. I don't know what happened to the rest of the footage. So ta-da, they're welded. I ended up building them. I built a little jig to be able to weld them both the same exact way. So these are little caps that I'm gonna weld on. The idea here is that I'm gonna use either self-levelers or wheels. I hadn't decided which way. I actually ended up not doing any of that because it sits fine just on its own. But these are my end caps anyway.
All right, so the two stands are done. Other than grinding, I've got a lot more grinding to go. So I'm gonna get busy cleaning up all this mill scale and cleaning up all my atrocious welds, make those pretty. Then we're gonna spray paint this all black. I only have flat black, so I'm gonna go with flat black. See if I hate it. If I hate it, I'll go buy something else. Almost done.
The slab is prepped. My legs are officially finished after this, and I'm ready for epoxy. The epoxy process is a long video. It took a lot for me to even chop it down to 20 minutes, so I'm gonna hold it out till next week. Stay tuned for the part 2 of this sweet coffee table. Merry Christmas, everybody.